Hi, Steve Cave down here. I'm a professor for this class, and I wanted to make a video for you to welcome you to the class, walk you through the basics of what to expect, and to discuss the syllabus and the schedule. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. So starting off, here's the syllabus here. You can find these under course information off to the menu to the left when you're in Blackboard. You'll find both of these documents. I just want to walk you through them and highlight some of the important things that I don't want you to miss. So this is the cover page of the syllabus. If you scroll down, here's information about me. Here's my phone number. You can use it to text me or call me anytime. I won't answer if you call in the middle of the night, but you can call me. And if you text me ahead of time before calling, if it's something urgent, then I'll know to answer the phone. You can also email me. I'll answer those usually within 2 days. If it's during the day, there's a much better chance of me answering it. I just don't want you to expect that I'll reply over the weekend. That's when things get tough, and it's more important probably to use my phone number over the weekend if it's something that's urgent. Here's an explanation of all that for office hours. Here's a description of the course. This class is here to teach you how to write an essay and how to navigate APA Style 7. Course outcomes, course concepts, and your grades. As a basic idea, what you're going to be graded on in this class, there's really 5 things. You'll be graded on 3 essays that you'll be turning in. Then you'll be graded on this course activities is really broke up into one tiny quiz and then a bunch of discussion board work that you'll be doing every week. So looking at the assignments, this little note here I want to make sure I mention. So depending on the writing class you've had in the past, you may have had essays to write, and some teachers will say, they want like a 3 to 5 page essay. And then if you really want to do good, you maybe try and impress your teacher by writing a 10-page essay. Maybe you've done that in the past. In this class, that's great, but in this class, I don't want that. In this class, you'll notice the essays are actually rather short. Most of them are 1 to 2 pages long of actually the body of the essay. When I say 1 to 2 pages, what do I mean? So it's important for me to explain, right? Any page with any writing on it, I count as a page. So if you write 1 page and then have a line that goes to page number 2, that's a 2-page essay. So think about that. I'm not looking for you to just give me as much words as possible. I'm looking for you to be succinct and to edit your words down to use actually as few words as possible to do an excellent job. That's a little more difficult, isn't it? Think about that. That's a little tougher. So that's what we're going to be working on in this class. So think about that. If you can make your 5-paragraph essay work in 1 page, that's great. Just make sure it has everything, all the pieces you need. Well, we'll be talking about that in the next 10 weeks. Course activities. What's going on for this class? So first you have an informative essay. That's an essay that's basically teaching about something, about a topic. The next essay will be a persuasive essay. That's where you're trying to convince your readers of something. And then your last essay is a summary analysis essay. This takes a bit of a change. It's different. It's bigger. I think it's 5 pages. Yeah, 4 to 5 pages. And in this essay, you'll be discussing somebody else's article. So an article you'll find somewhere online, and you'll be tearing apart their arguments and talking about how they wrote the essay. It's much more about dissecting somebody else's work and learning through it, if that makes sense. That's your final for the class, is this essay. Late assignments. This is important to mention. Since most of your assignments in class are these big, giant essays, how do they work for me? Well, for every day you're late, first off, just don't be late. Just don't. And if you're new to college and you've been in high school, then you've probably had lenient teachers. Welcome to college. Nobody's lenient here. The point here is to get your stuff done on time. If you are late, there's 2 things. First off, if you think you're going to be late, if you know something happens, life happens, right? You get COVID maybe, or something just horrible happens in your life. Let me know ASAP. If you let me know that you need extra time before the due date, then I will probably extend your due date for you. If you let me know on the day it's due, then that unfortunately looks like a lack of planning. Or it looks like you forgot you're in college. That happens to me an awful lot in this course. People, will take these classes maybe through work and they just it's just not a priority. If that's the case, that's okay, but just how that works then is for every day you're late, you lose 10% of your grade. So that's an entire letter grade, right? So think about it. Being 1 day late is exactly as just doing slightly less good, as I'm going to say, slightly worse work, right? So if you were going to earn a B, but then you work extra hard and get that A, but you take a day and it's a day late to turn it in, it's irrelevant. So you might as well get your work in as soon as you can, even if it's mediocre. If it's bad, don't, because then you'll get a much lower grade, and that's terrible. But just to think about that, for every day it's late, that's up to 5 days. Past 5 days, you could just turn it in and you'll get 50% of what you were going to get up until the very last day of class. So, and that's 50% of what you would have gotten, right? So if you find yourself, for some reason, an essay gets out of control and you're like, oh no, what do I do? You might as well take your time and do a good job on it then to try and earn 100%, because then 100% will translate to 50. And that might seem like a huge loss. It is. It's a huge loss. But that's much better than getting a 0, right? Much better. So there's ways for me, this is a way for me to keep you from missing one essay and then just getting an F in the class. I don't want that for anybody. So you can turn it in late. It's just not a good option. Also, I don't mention it in here, but I will mention it when we first turn first essay. I do also give you options for resubmitting essays to raise your grade. Only though the first two. That final essay, there's no resubmitting that final essay. That's your final test for the class. So you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and write a good essay for your final. But for the first two, I will let you resubmit and raise your score by up to 20%, which is pretty big. I think it's generous. But that doesn't mean it's only 20%, so do your best. Professional writing, this is something I want to mention here, is plagiarism. I take plagiarism very seriously. So there are 4 ways to plagiarize. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe that's news. One is obviously just stealing somebody else's idea and using it as your own, pretending it's yours. That's plagiarism, obviously. But also it's plagiarism if you take somebody else's ideas and words and use them, and you say you cite them, but you don't put it in quotes, right? You say you're paraphrasing, but you're not. That's still plagiarism. So how do you avoid getting in trouble for that? Well, we have a program that when you submit your essays, they'll be submitted to, called Safe Assign. You'll be able to see your Safe Assign report, the same exact report that I will see, before the final due time of your essay. So when you turn your essay in, it'll give you a report back that says, like, I give you a percentage, and you can go look at it, and it'll break it down and tell you where certain phrases maybe that you're using are found elsewhere, either on the internet or in other essays that have been turned in. That's very important, right? So if take a look at that, and you'll see, like, oh, maybe you'll see a section highlighted and it says, this section is stolen from this website. And you're like, no, that's the website I used. Well, if that's the case, then you better either paraphrase better, which means it's completely in your own words. Don't use their words and just try and change every 3rd or 4th word. That's not paraphrasing. That's plagiarism, right? It has to be completely in your own words, or just put it in quotes. Easy, right? But that's also a way to plagiarize. Another way to plagiarize that a lot of people don't think of, though, is turning in things that you have turned in before. So you can plagiarize yourself. As weird as that might sound, totally possible. And it's happened in this class several times to me in the past. So it catches you. The system will catch you on that. Don't do it. If you've used an essay for another class, the way actually every university, I believe, but I know our university works, is if you want to use an essay for one class that you have used for another, you must get permission from both professors. That's how it works. Let me tell you right off the bat, I will never give you permission to use an essay from a previous class for this one, because this whole point of this class is for you to practice writing essays. I want at the end of this class for you to be able to crank out an essay on any topic without having too much fear, and knowing, most of all, knowing that you can do it, that you know how to do it. That's my goal. So I'm not going to have you use an essay you've written before. That'd be pointless. Just write your new essays. And like I said earlier, they don't even have to be that long. They can be a page. So just do the work, and you'll be fine. But avoid plagiarism. And when we come to the point where your first essay is due, I will bring this up again, and I will show you guys how to access Safe Assign and how to look at that percentage and how to make sure you are not getting in trouble for something that maybe you didn't even know you were doing. So all that to say, I take plagiarism seriously. I really, really do. If you get caught plagiarizing, expect an F in that assignment, and since there are 3 assignments, that's going to hurt you quite a bit in the course. It'll be very difficult to even pass the class after that. So don't do it. If you're ever in doubt, email me or call me. If you ever want to know, hey, is this plagiarism or not? That's what I'm here for. Ask me. It's just ask. Other things to talk about, that down here we have university policies, at how attendance works, you got to be here, and support services for you. So that is your syllabus. So there we go. I was about to ask any questions, but we're on the video. So next after the syllabus is your schedule. So here's the course schedule. This is also found in the same place under course information when you're in Blackboard, and the menu off to your left. That'd be this side for you. So here is your schedule. So each week has a box, as you can see. There's color coding up here. So cyan is for discussion boards, magenta is for quiz is due, and yellow is an essay due. So as you scroll down, just from the colors alone, you can see there's discussion boards every week. You have a quiz the end of week 3. Discussion boards, your first essay is due at the end of week 5. Discussion boards, next essays due at the end of week 7. And then your final essay is due at the end of week 9. And then week 10 is wrap up. So that's the entire class. I do want to reiterate that these discussion boards are important. Since this class is online, this takes part of our in-class time and tries to convert it to something you can interact with online. For your discussion boards, make sure that your initial post is done by midnight Wednesday. You don't want to lose points for being late. And your initial post should be thoughtful and make sure it covers every part of the prompt. Some people like to use those prompts as like a springboard to discuss something else. That's fine, as long as you still cover all the questions I'm asking you for the initial prompt. And then you need to come back and comment on classmates, at least 2 classmates, and answer any questions you get by the end of Sunday, the following Sunday. So you have that week to do it. If you miss a week's discussion board, maybe you just space it and suddenly you find yourself in week 2 and you're like, oh no, I didn't do last week's discussion board. You can't earn those points. You've missed them. So I do not accept late discussion board work at all. The whole point of it is that you're discussing with your classmates. So I'm kind of hard on that, but I have a lot of other ways for you to make your points back, and I have a very generous late policy on everything else, except these. So make sure you're doing them. Make sure you're in. This is part of being in class. Notice that week 1, there are 2 discussion boards. So there's introducing yourself, and then there's jumping into week 1 discussion board activities, which for you is writing a thesis statement. I want to make sure that you know how to do them because they're key to writing the entire essay. They're key to all of this. If you have any questions about how to write a thesis statement after doing Module 1, email me, call me, help. I'm here to help. That's my job. So that is a rundown of the schedule and a rundown of the syllabus. I want to say just a personal welcome to the class. I'm happy you're here. And if, again, any questions, anything at all, I'm here to ask and I'm here to help. We can also set up so you can call me, you can email me, and through those methods, if you ever need a one-on-one session, we can also do Zoom. So I have access to Zoom. We can do a Zoom meeting anytime. Talk about your essays, talk about any English questions you might have or anything at all. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.